we're at the second part of the Power Conference. What has been the best part? Can I get a couple of volunteers to tell me what's been the best part of the conference so far in the morning? Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Who said me? Pete L. Doug, Precious Tiny Williams, Rainmaker Speaker, yeah, okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? What has been the highlight from the morning? Queen, would you stand up? Say that again, because we have these dope speakers. Dope, amazing speakers. Say that again, Queen. Getting that knowledge. That financial knowledge. Isn't it nice to hear in real time the effect that you're having on audiences? So y'all remember when we started this morning, we talked about every time you turn on the news, there's something bad in business, there's something happening, sales are flatline, people are scared. And we said, well, why? What's the name of this conference? Does anybody remember? Business success in times of uncertainty. And what did we decide? Lenny Kravitz. What did Lenny Kravitz say? It ain't over. So now that we're in the second half of the Power Conference, oh, it gets greater. It gets better. It gets bolder. And now I'm going to cede the stage to the man, the myth, the legend, the creator of the Power Conference, also the CEO of Small Business Like a Pro, Andrew Frazier. Andrew, come to the stage.
Thank you, Precious. Thank you. She's like the best, isn't she? Well, welcome back to the second half. Those of you who are joining us for lunch and for the second half, it's going to be a great half, but you missed a great half for the first half too. But we're excited to have you here. Thanks for joining us, and really look forward to getting started with the program this afternoon. Let's see. This is, most of you probably saw the video, but I love this video.
So show it again. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hi, I'm Andrew Frazier, Masterpreneur and founder of Small Business Pro University. Join me at the Small Business Pro Power Conference on July 25th at NJ PAC in Newark, New Jersey. To learn best practices, enjoy great networking, and gain useful knowledge. We will supercharge your day. To learn more and register, visit www.sbpru.com/conference.
This event was a wow. Every panel, every speaker has had so much amazing content and good information to share. This is a good day to put aside, to come out and do some learning, but also make some great connections. The ones that I made were impactful.
For more than 10 years, our events have directly generated tens of millions of dollars in revenue and financing for attendees. The conference theme is business success in times of uncertainty. It begins with the Power Breakfast, sponsored by TD Bank. You don't want to miss our keynote speaker, Natalie Madeira-Kofi, CEO of AEO. She's been named one of the most powerful women in business by Entrepreneur Magazine. There will be 2 breakout sessions following the Power Breakfast. Nikisha Wilson will facilitate a panel on financial management from A to Z, and Urban Hughes will lead a 10X Growth Accelerator strategy session.
Hey everyone, Irv Hughes here with American Credit Assurance. Hey, this message is to invite you to join me at this summer's Power Conference. That's right, folks, I'm coming to see you. I'm going to do 2 things while I'm there. I'm going to show you how to grow your revenue and profits.
After that is the Power Lunch, sponsored by Verizon Business. Keynoted by Calvin Lee, business owner and executive vice president of New African Development Corporation. He was a co-founder of Connection Communications Corporation, Newark's original cable franchise. There will also be 2 breakout sessions following the power lunch. I'll be facilitating a panel on financing your business faster and easier. And Jessica Spaulding, President and CEO of the Harlem Chocolate Factory, will discuss strategies for networking and marketing your business. She's been featured in Forbes Magazine, Entrepreneur.com, and the Kate Spade Foundation. And then we'll wrap things up with a happy hour for networking and socializing. I look forward to seeing you at the Small Business Pro Power Conference on July 25th in Newark, New Jersey. To learn more and register, visit www.sbprou.com/conference.
As you can see, we have a great afternoon planned as well. So as we talked about, our job is to supercharge your day today. So hopefully by the time you leave, you'll be more supercharged about yourself, about your business, about your opportunities, about what you're going to do than you were when you came in here. We already started out the morning, and that's our yardstick for measuring success. How have we done so far? Excellent. And we're only halfway there. So very excited about what we have going on this afternoon. Of course, our events, we've been doing them for 12 years now. And we've helped people get tens of millions of dollars in financing as well as revenue generation. So look around the room, there's a lot of tremendous people in the room. So make sure you get to meet people while you're here. Our agenda, we got the power lunch, we got the breakout sessions, and we got the happy hour. And, we were trying to mix people up on the breakout sessions because we had 4 and 2 in between. So most people thought that they'd have to choose one or the other, but we set it up so you can go to both. So, so definitely you don't want to miss any of them. But that's just for logistics. The bathroom's back there. And upstairs conference, you go past the bathroom and go for the breakouts. So, so the conference, 2 keynote speakers, excellent. Our 4 breakout sessions, excited about those as well. And happy hour after the fact. And you can't do this on your own. We got a lot of partnerships with a lot of organizations, a lot of people to really help support entrepreneurs and business owners and really help be an important part of the ecosystem for small businesses and entrepreneurs in the New Jersey area. A couple of partners that we work with, of course, Perfect Fits Group and Precious, Positive Magazine, Dan with Multimedia Group, who's here doing the photography and videography. They always do a great job for us. Moving forward with small business and many others. So excited to have them. We've got our sponsors. So we got Tab and Archers, which is Gene Mahinsky. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with TAB, but the advisory board, and it's great networking where small business owners become board members of each other, and Gene facilitates. But even better is Archer Contact Strategies, because what they do is he's built a company of concierge virtual assistants. So full-time virtual assistants that are trained, that work through his company. And unlike most places, he has a building where they come to work every day out in the Philippines and trains them, make sure they have great technology. And most of my video editing and pictures and all kinds of other stuff you see comes through my VA. I've had a full-time VA for G for a year and a half, and it's been life-changing. So definitely a small business owner, there's never enough time to do stuff, but also it's hard to find good help. So it takes a lot of the risk out of it. We've got Empower the Village, which is our nonprofit partner. And over on the table here, IO, Sarah Senor. We have some tremendous programming for entrepreneurs and business owners. One of their programs that I love is called Make Every Friday Black Friday. because, you know, as they say, 1 out of every 7 Americans is black, and 1 out of every 7 days you should buy from a black business owner. Try to, and you know, she encourages that, which I think is so important. You know, I was telling people earlier that most businesses, the reason that all of their problems, or 90% of their problems, are because they're not selling. So whatever you can do to give small business owners a chance, give them some sales, give them some revenue, because that's really the key more than anything else to helping them succeed. So definitely there. Today we've got Verizon as a power lunch and afternoon sponsor. So as you know, I work with Precious, and Precious has worked with Verizon doing some great things. So I'm going to give her a minute to share a little bit about what she's doing there.
Would everybody please stand up? Let's shake off the lunch. Let's shake it off. Even for those who are on live, shake it off. I want you all to say, "I've got the power." Say it again. I've got the power. I've got the power. Now, clap with someone next to you. Y'all can also say, "I got the power." Bam! Thank y'all. We're shaking it off because we're getting ready for Verizon business, right? All right, y'all may be seated. Do y'all remember, and this is for the live crew too, do y'all remember when I said, are you the Kia, the Lexus, or the Rolls Royce? Did y'all like that question? Well, let me tell you how I went from Kia to Lexus to Rolls Royce. Remember how we talked about positioning? Verizon Business. I was introduced to Verizon Business at the Verizon / Luminary Small Business Digital Ready Summit. I was asked to do office hours. This is at Luminary. It's in Midtown Manhattan. I've been a member almost 6 years. I know that's right. That's where I found my site. And so I came in just teaching on pitching, never really thinking anything of it. And do you all know, because Kate Luzio, who's the CEO of Luminary, she intentionally placed me where I could be seen. Didn't tell me anything, just said, hey, just teach on pitching. Okay, I can do that. Do you all know, by her putting me in position, that this queen right here, Caitlin Davis, at Verizon, I'm gonna get the right title and everything, but I want them all to just see you. She saw me at the event, and then people walk up to you and tell you about me. So there was no way you could get away from me.
You're also wearing bright red dress. So
You like the red today? You like the red? You like the shoes too? So you walk. From that experience, I'm happy that Verizon is seeing me. Oh, but that's not what they wanted. They wanted to know, would I do a pitch course within their Small Business Digital Ready as a subject matter expert? But why? Because I demonstrated it live. I demonstrated excellence live. So we did this amazing course. It took time to get everything together, but it was a full production in Brooklyn. Full production. Videographer, photographer, makeup artist, all that kind of stuff. And the finished product was so amazing. But wait, there's more. Then I was asked about content creation. The Small Business Digital Ready is a free program for entrepreneurs and small business owners. It has subject matter experts in marketing, branding, AI, pitching. The name of mine is Getting Your Pitch Right for Every Audience. And it's free. How many small business owners, entrepreneurs in this room would love to take courses for free and learn on the Verizon platform? Oh, y'all not being loud enough. Because at this table right here, this queen right here, you can come over and scan a QR code and have access to what it is that we do. But wait, there's more. And then I was blessed with opportunities to go over this entire nation at different conferences and speak on the Small Business Digital Ready platform, which is not a small feat. We've been in, 10, 15 different cities. Over time, we just came back from the National Urban League Conference in Cleveland, Ohio. We're gonna be in LA, Las Vegas. Oh, yes. So when I tell you about positioning, and wasn't that lunch great? I haven't eaten it yet, but I'm gonna give my thoughts later because I know they always do everything in excellence. But the point is, someone can put you in position that you don't even recognize because they know what you're capable of. That one engagement has led to almost a year and a half, 2 years with Verizon. And you keep coming with opportunities because I keep proving myself and I believe in you, and you have never treated me like a token. You've never treated me as anything other than the best in my subject matter. So when I say to all of you, when you're eating this lunch, when you hear from this Queen Caitlin Davis, I want you all to understand we have a real relationship. We have a real partnership. And I am honored that from that day forward to today, you have blessed me. You blessed so many small business owners and entrepreneurs. And you put us on a platform that makes us shine bright. Not because of our skin color, not because of our gender, but because you want the best teaching what's coming next. So I want to thank you, Caitlin. I want to thank Verizon Business, not just for me, but the opportunities you provided to so many others. This lunch I already know is going to be popping, like when I finally do eat it. But I want to say, y'all, give it up for Caitlin Davis. Give it up for Verizon Business. And do not forget to come to the table, take your free notebook, and sign up for the Small Business Digital Ready platform. When I say it's free, they're not going to bait and switch you, I promise you. And there's also grants with it. So if you take 2 or 3 courses, you can apply for $10,000. A grant, a real grant. And I had the nerve to sit between the 2 grant winners. One went to the Super Bowl with Roger Goodell's boxes and got the money, and the other one got the $10,000. And I said, my ticket must have got lost in the mail. Caitlin, please come to the table. Come on.
Wow, that is hard to follow. I'm just going to take a couple quick minutes. First, to say thank you to Andrew for inviting us, and to Precious for introducing us to Andrew and this organization. I was not able to speak here this morning, but I'm excited to spend the afternoon with you all, listening and learning as well. Precious kind of said it all, but just really quickly to give you a little bit more of the nuts and bolts of the Digital Ready program. So in 2020, Verizon made a commitment to support 1 million small business owners with resources to help them for the digital economy by 2030. So over 10 years, we plan to support 1 million business owners. As of today, just about 5 years in, we have over 500,000 businesses who have joined the program. And we hear a lot of really amazing success stories. I think we'll roll a video in a minute that shows you a few of those examples. But just a couple quick things that I want to highlight for you about the program in case you are not aware of it, or even if you are. We have now more than 60 courses that are available. More than half of them are also available in Spanish, if that's relevant for you or anyone you know. And they are all taught by small business owners who are experts in their field, which is so important, right? We know Verizon is like the exact opposite of a small business, right? We are the biggest of the big companies. And so it's not Verizon trying to talk to you about how to do social media or how to build your website. It's Precious talking to you about pitching, who not only is the master of pitching, but she's a business owner and she's been through that journey and she's learned how to apply these kinds of tools and techniques in the right setting so she can present the information in a way that is relatable and that is sort of right sized for small business needs. You'll also hear the last breakout this afternoon is Jessica Spalding from Harlem Chocolate Factory. She's another instructor on the Digital Ready platform. And she's going to talk about marketing and networking, and that's really where her expertise lies. So all of the content on the platform is brought to you by folks like this, and we have found over time that, like, I can stand up here and tell you about the resources. It is so much more powerful for you to meet our instructors and see the work live, and so we really like to lead with that and to let that speak for itself. So I think I'm gonna pretty much leave it there, except to tell you there's one other brand new promotion. It's gonna be new to you too. Just launched this week. Just launched this week. We're calling it Training Camp, and it is a partnership with the NFL, where we'll have Drew Brees, who's an NFL quarterback, and Kristen Yushak, who is a fashion designer who is famous for having designed all of the Taylor Swift Kansas City Chiefs outfits that she wears, which really blew up her business. She was very small, and then she had this very catalytic moment. So they will be there, as well as several Digital Ready instructors, a bunch of influencers and content creators, and it's a trip to San Francisco to do sort of like a 2-day boot camp kind of experience. So that contest is available to Digital Ready members who have taken 2 courses on the platform. There's time to sign up and take those courses between now and then. So that's just kind of the latest breaking news on the platform, but I really would encourage you to check it out. As Precious said, thank you. It is all free. It's really free. You don't have to be a Verizon customer. All the time. It's really free. So I do hope you'll take advantage of it, if nothing else, to see the final product of Precious's course. But there are many, many more from amazing small business experts across the country. So thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you, Precious. And thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, Katie, and thank you, Verizon. This is great to have Verizon on board with us today, and Verizon is doing some great things for entrepreneurs and business owners, and everything helps, especially when you can hear from people who've actually done it and are doing it. So I have a Verizon video, but I don't know, would you like to play it, or do you think we already covered it?
Yeah, the video is some of our users kind of talking about their experiences.
Okay.
When I started my business, I knew that I wanted to be the best sign company on the South Fork.
Being an entrepreneur is so isolating. So it's so helpful to know that there are other people who are struggling with the same issues. When I first got the food truck ready to go, I felt like I was on top of the world. The Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program helped me hone my advertising and marketing strategies.
In the SEO course, it taught me how to interview vendors that would help with my search engine optimization. Our phones are ringing more. I'm getting more emails through my website.
I took so many courses, it has built my confidence 100%. I was able to lower my marketing expenses by 34%, and that was after one session.
It's really changed the way that I've been able to grow my business and fast-tracked us to becoming the company that we are today.
To keep serving the same community that built my business for me is just amazing. I'm just so grateful for the program giving me the tools not only to succeed, but to thrive.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you, Verizon. Thank everybody for being here. Okay, and just want to share a little bit about Small Business Pro University. Many of you know a little bit about us, but many of you, it may be new. So, Small Business Pro University is something that has been a culmination of things that I've been working on throughout the last 17 years, full time with entrepreneurs and small business owners. And here's a little bit about what Small Business Pro University is.
Many small businesses experience low or no revenue growth, and the owners are not making enough money. I founded Small Business Pro University to help you break that cycle by empowering you with greater knowledge and enhanced skills to lead your organization more effectively. Over the past 15 years, I've collaborated with organizations like the Small Business Development Center, Rising Tide Capital, Empower the Village, NJNEP, Rutgers University, and SCORE to work one-on-one with over 1,000 business owners and teach tens of thousands of people about business. My experience includes serving as a naval officer, managing businesses, graduating from MIT, earning an MBA from NYU, and achieving a CFA designation, which has prepared me to accomplish my mission of helping 1 million and 8 business owners to sell more, maximize profit, and finance growth by 2028. My vision is to create the ultimate business ecosystem for entrepreneurs. Small Business Pro University empowers entrepreneurs like you to run their businesses more professionally and create sustainable enterprises. We employ my proven proprietary Masterpreneur Playbook framework to guide your journey along the Masterpreneur path and facilitate your Masterpreneur evolution to work on your business and scale faster and easier. Small Business Pro University provides access to valuable resources, partnerships, and relationships that will help you to sell more, maximize profit, and finance growth. Our Masterpreneur initiatives include the Small Business Pro Network, 100+ expert-led multimedia courses, intensive training workshops, Spanish language training, Leadership Live at 8:05, live stream and podcast, in-person Power Breakfast events, and advisory coaching, consulting, and training services.
Thank you. So that's a little bit about Small Business Pro University, and we'll continue to partner with other organizations. One of the things we do every week is the POW. Anyone here a veteran? I'm the only veteran in the room? All right, wow, sir. So in the military, they have what's the POW, and that's the plan of the week. So we send out the plan of the week every week to help entrepreneurs and business owners know what's going on, know what events are coming on from different organizations around New Jersey, and also with business tips and other things. So definitely that's something to look out for. We do our weekly live stream every week. We've been doing it for almost 5 years now, Leadership Live at 8:05. Like we mentioned earlier, we've got several people in the room who have been guests. Just raise your hand real quick. All right. So, heard from Precious, you've heard from Herb, a couple of the other guests. We got Mark, he had a great show on speaking like a CEO. We had Io Sanderson Wilson, CEO of Empower the Village, and I think I didn't quite finish what I was going to say about Empower the Village. So they have Make Every Friday Black Friday, encouraging people to buy from Black businesses. But how good is that if you can't find them? So they have the Black Pages too, which covers books for different states, and so she also makes it available for free to people so you can find Black businesses. And then finally, they do the Village Empowerment Network. So the Village Empowerment Network, I partner with them to provide one-on-one coaching and training. And we've got over 150 people in the program, and we've done over 450 one-on-one coaching sessions. And we've got quite a few people who are in the program or connected with Empower the Village in another way. So just raise your hand if you're already familiar with with Empower the Village. All right, excellent. So you know the great things that they're doing. And then Vedant in the back, met Vedant because I use his platform. He created video.ai, which is a great platform for digital marketing using video and video content. That's pretty much it. So I've been using this platform for several years, and it's a great platform. And just we had a chance to hang out. And next week, we're doing a webinar about growing your business on LinkedIn. So you can definitely tune into that, and we'll be chatting about it. So look forward to that, and get a chance to chat with them this afternoon. And like I mentioned, this is going to be 5 years of Leadership Live at 8:05. So we've had over 250 guests, and great guests, great learning. And one of the things I ask at the end of every show is, what are the top 3 things people should take away from what we discussed today? Because most people can't remember more than 3 things, and it's easy to take that and start utilizing. So it's a trove of knowledge and expertise. So what we're doing is we're releasing a new book on the 5th anniversary called 99 Tips to Sell More, Maximize Profit, and Finance Growth. And that is based on the tips from 33 of our business experts. So that's going to be coming out September 30th. You can order early, but that's going to be an amazing book. So we're excited about that. And last week, we talked about the entrepreneurial journey. And that's really about 5 steps to growing your business from startup to scaling that I created. And consists of the path and the evolution. And I lay it out in my Entrepreneur Combo, put together a handbook for how to run your business, a workbook for practicing, and then the playbook for the strategies to grow. And 10 growth factors. So we created a tool that we're testing out where you can get your Masterpreneur School. So look out for the email for that. Since we're in beta, there's no cost to do it, and you can get a lot of insight about your business. And now it's time to have a chance to feel your center and your calm. I know you had lunch, and it may be weighing on you. And as an entrepreneur, it's usually stressful. So we're just going to take a minute and have someone come and help us to feel our center and feel our calm. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And again, it's just such a pleasure to be here in your company. So as I have 1 minute, I ask that you sit up straight in your chairs. As you're sitting up straight in your chairs, I ask if you're comfortable in the room to close your eyes or just let your gaze lower to look down at the earth, which is represented by the floor that we're in. And in this space, I ask that you bring your attention to your feet, which I ask that you place on the floor, and place them parallel. Give some space between them. And as you focus on your feet, which get us to and from throughout our days, just press your heels into the earth. Just press your heels into the earth. And as you notice your heels pressed into the earth, there's a bone behind your pinky toe. Press that bone into the earth. And there's a bone behind your big toe. Just press that bone into the earth as well. And if it's comfortable for you or flexible, just lift your toes off the earth. And with your toes lifted, feel those 3 points pressing into Mother Earth. And from here, play your toes like a piano, move them, give them the flexibility that they need to help get you to your next destination. And then place your toes into the earth. And as you focus on your feet, and as you are planted into the earth, I want you now to bring your attention to your head. And we're going to scan down and move down our body slowly as if we're scanning ourselves from our heads to our shoulders, to our torsos, to our pelvis, and to our legs, to our ankles, and to our feet. And we're discharging what no longer serves us. So thoughts that are no longer beneficial to us, worries that we may have arrived with, we're letting them go so that our afternoon is even more productive than our morning. And we're going to conclude by taking a deep breath in through our nose and pressing our bellies out, expanding. Let's inhale together. And let's exhale through our nose and pull our belly buttons to our lower back. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. And once more. Inhale. And bless you. And exhale. And before we open our eyes, we're going to do 1 cleansing breath to empty out of our lungs the stale air that no longer serves us. So let's inhale through our nose deeply. Inhale. Open your mouths and sigh it out. Now begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes and your extremities before you open your eyes. Just bring your body back into this space and gently open your eyes. And now you're ready for the rest of your day. Thank you so much for stopping.
So I think now we're ready. Are you ready? You're not ready? Or are you asleep now? So we're excited about our keynote speaker for the Power Lunch. But we wanted to make sure he was introduced the right way. So we have a gentleman who actually worked for him and his company back when they started their company here in Newark, and has a unique perspective that he can share in the introduction. So Derek, would you like to come up? And plus that led to him becoming a multi-year, multi-business entrepreneur as well.
Yes, thank you, Andrew, thank you. Well, this is my first Power Breakfast, and I am excited about being here. You know, I woke up this morning, you know how you got your calendar, it's like, what do I have to do? And then I happened to look at my calendar and say, you need to be down here. So I actually turned around. So my name is Derek Law. I am the CEO of Netarius Technology Solutions and a co-founder of Ramp Up America. Netarius is a 21-year-old company. We're located on 59 Market Street. That's where our headquarters are. We are a technology system integration company, and we focus on building out end-to-end technology solutions for small businesses, public sector, police, fire, emergency management. Ramp Up America is our workforce development company. I'm a co-founder, and we train people, and we have apprenticeship programs to help people learn pathways. And so on that journey, I think about, how did I get there? Well, it started for me when I was 18 years old, and I was looking for a job. And I heard about this cable company that was opening up in an old Cadillac building, like Central Avenue. And I went there probably about 8 times to try to get a job. On the 7th time, they hired me, right? You're talking about an 18-year-old. This was like 82, 83 years old. And so I got hired as a data entry clerk, entering all the work orders. And eventually grew my way up to senior computer operator and then data entry supervisor. And I worked there for like 5 years. Now, during that 5 years, I got a chance to observe the leadership that brought the cable company to New York. This was back in the 80s. And Kelvin Reed Jr., along with Barry Washington and Melvin and all the great guys that was there. I'm there late at night, and what I see is Kelvin and Barry and them crunching the numbers up in the conference room, and I looked at them as a role model for me. And I didn't realize how much they impacted my life, to where now I'm fast forward 62 years old, been in technology for over 40 years in my life, and it allowed me to travel around the world and build businesses And my focus on that journey is watching Calvin and Barry and them over at Connection Communication Cable. And I'm literally doing that kind of work right now, building out broadband infrastructures, delivering internet services, delivering IT services. And that was all because of brothers like Calvin, right? Like Barry, that I literally watched do that. Now, what I do recall is that Calvin was over the sales. He was over the sales. He was the VP of Connection Cable. And I recall hearing major battles up in the conference rooms, with these guys, I mean, you think as a CEO, VP, everything is calm, cool, and collective. No, it's not always that way when you're in partnership. You go through battle, make your point. And I got a chance to see them do those different things, right? And they've been my mentor, right, all this time. Now, with Calvin, he had the sales team, marketing, all the things that we were talking about doing, tackling the tough challenges of delivering cable to the city of Newark, right? South Orange, I think at that time we was up in South Orange too, in all the different areas within Newark, New Jersey. And I went all the way to the time that they sold the company, right? So that whole thing, exit strategy, I think we were back there talking, sometimes we're pushed out, sometimes we get out, right? But the impact that I got from Calvin, watching him, and even right now, he's done stuff and he's doing things in real estate, in development, in economic development, helping impact, right, the city of Newark, New Jersey, down in Baltimore, right? Still in the city of Newark, making an impact on people. And so when I think about mentors, think about Calvin, think about Barry, think about Melvin, I think about all these people, and I tell this story to young people too. Because back then, I had no idea where my dream was going to be. And now I'm the president and CEO of my own company in the city of Newark because I was able to watch people like Calvin. So thank you. I appreciate it, Calvin. Come on up here, share your story with us.
Good afternoon. My name is Calvin Reed. I do have a little pablum falling out the side of my face, but that's okay. I'll wipe it off. But let me say one that I'm pleased to be here. When Andrew asked me to come and speak for the luncheon hour, I thought, well, that'll be fine because everybody's going to nap after lunch anyway. So I won't have to say too much. But let me just start briefly about how my journey began in the Essex County area and how I aspired to start a cable company and other businesses in this area. When I was just getting out of college, I came back to my hometown, which was Newark at the time, and there wasn't much for me to do. My parents lived in East Orange, and I said, maybe I can get a job working in East Orange. I did. I worked for a youth group. We built a youth agency that basically Oh, you can't hear me. I told you I just get out the home. I was kind of talking to myself, remembering, So anyway, I got a job working in Newark for a minute. I worked there for just a brief time, and then I went to work in East Orange. I worked in East Orange as the executive director of the Essex County Youth and Economic Rehabilitation Commission. I did that for a minute, and then I became, surprisingly, the deputy mayor of East Orange. I was 21. I had a lot of responsibility as a deputy mayor, some of which I was prepared for, some I wasn't. One of the most difficult things was trying to lead people who were much older than I. So I grew a beard, and that helped mitigate some of the problems I had with regard to folks not wanting to take direction from me. I left the mayor's office and got a job working still in the city of East Orange, but in the planning department. I was working as a senior city planner, and while I was there, we built the first master plan for the city of East Orange. But one of the things that I found about being in East Orange or in any organization is that if you don't have the ability to communicate and everybody around you understands what the goal is, then you really don't have an organization or any kind of ability to succeed. And I realized that just being in East Orange was kind of tight. And I wasn't going to grow any more than I already had if I didn't expand my horizons and move past municipality and communication and management there. And I had to move into a broader spectrum. So I went back to graduate school to the University of Denver. I graduated from the Denver Publishing Institute. And after finishing Denver Publishing Institute, I went to work for the Doubleday Corporation in books. But I worked and had corporate latitude. So I worked in the corporation, so I did some kinds of developments for the corporation, but I also had the opportunity to work on some great books. Jackie Onassis was one of the editors at the time when I was there, and I had the privilege of being her secretary. I learned a lot from Jackie. One thing I learned was how to spell, because she didn't accept any papers that were typed for her that had errors, and there was no typo. You couldn't have the typo because there was no way to correct the typo. You had to retype the paper. So I took my time and learned to type a solid paper. But another thing that I learned there was that it's one thing to walk with the chiefs. It's another thing entirely to be able to deal with the Indians. And so in order to be a good leader, you have to be able to do both. You have to be able to walk with the leaders and the Indian, but you also have to be able to communicate and get the message across to the people. If the people don't buy into your deal, then it's not a deal at all. I mean, I had one project, it was a book project, it was Cooking for the Champ by Lana Shabazz. And I had all the other senior editors hyped up and ready to do the book, but I hadn't spoken to any of the editorial assistants. I just arrogantly assumed that I didn't need them. I had the powers that be on my side. And when I brought the book in for review, they squashed it. So that was the message that I learned, and that message was make sure that everybody is on the same page with something that you're trying to achieve. One of the other things that happened while I was at Doubleday was I became the electronic communications expert there. And one of the things that was mushrooming at the time was cable television. So I became the in-house expert on cable television and its development. It just so happened that at that same time, some young black guys, Barry Washington, Clarence Lilly, and Melvin Hussein, were also thinking about cable television and the prospect of the developing of cable television system in Newark. They asked me to join their team. Very fortuitous for them because I was able to use Doubleday's facilities to get all the cable knowledge that we needed to grow our system in Newark. We had meetings at the Doubleday offices on 43rd Street and Park Avenue. And nobody knew whether cable was being developed in Newark by Doubleday or by us. So we kind of subterfuge, but it worked for us. And then we had to get the Indians to be on our side. So we began to go around the community and talk to folks about what it is they expected from a cable television system what it is they wanted, what kind of access were they going to require themselves for from cable television, and would they be willing to pay for it? So after finding out that yes, the people wanted cable television, we had to decide, well, who would be our base? So we started going into Brick City and checking out, what the status was there, because we knew we would have to do some vertical construction to get into these buildings. And we wanted to know whether or not these folks could, one, afford to pay for it, and if they could afford it, did they want it? Well, it turned out that as we began doing more and more surveys, the one thing we realized was that most Black folks at the time, if they had no other communication resource, they had TV. And not only did they have a TV, they had several TVs. And most of the time, there was a TV in every bedroom. And all the TVs needed good reception, and almost none of them had it. They all had rabbit ears or some other madness, that they were trying to squiggle and put aluminum foil around the top. So when we said we were going to have cable television, and you weren't going to just get ABC, NBC, and CBS, we're going to give you 25 channels. What? I'll be able, and it's 24 hours a day? What? And it's only going to cost $19? We can pay. And so those initial surveys were the kinds of surveys that we needed, one, for information for ourselves, but also was a survey that we used to talk to potential investors. So when they said, well, folks are never going to buy cable in Newark, we said, well, wait a minute. We got a couple of spots we can stop and buy. And we took them into Brick City. And they went into Brick City and we rang those same doorbells. And they saw 5 TVs, a console, a big old brick console, and a portable on top of that. So they could watch 2 TVs at the same time. But that was not unique. That was something that was happening all over town. And that was one of the reasons why we were able to convince Prudential to give us some backing, and Philadelphia National Bank to give us some backing. And they provided us the first $10 million we needed to actually build a system. But before you can even put together a package that you can present to a financial partner, you have to have a business plan. And one of the things that it took us 2 years to develop was a business plan that was viable enough to present to Prudential, viable enough to present to PNB. The things that they required was a plan that they felt could be actually implemented. And in order to have a plan that can be implemented, you have to know what it is you want to do. And that plan has to lay out exactly how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, how long it's going to take, and more importantly, how you're going to pay them back their money. So you have to be able to show with the numbers that you generate on your business plan what the profitability of your potential vision is going to be. That happened. We built the cable system. We built 280 miles of cable in Newark. Everything was done from scratch. We built our own head-in, which was the system for developing the signal throughout the wires. We put up the satellite system, the satellite dishes in town. We built a 280-foot tower. It was the tallest entity in Newark, behind the old Central Satellite building. And we ran it effectively for 9 years. And then, the bank said, these guys have a great thing. I mean, we were generating about $1.5 million a month, which was a lot of money at the time. And they were like, I don't know if these guys can handle that much money a month. Maybe we should have them sell it to somebody who we know can handle it. And so we were asked to consider selling, which meant that our arms were twisted. More like broken, but at any rate, but we did in fact sell, and then of course you wonder, well, I have some resources of my own now. What am I going to do? And my family had always been involved somewhat in real estate. So my dad said, listen, son, I have some folks who are trying to do some development in East Orange. Perhaps you could help them. I said, well, Dad, I know a little bit about it, but I don't know much. He said, well, you gotta give it a shot. So I did. I said, well, I think I could put a bid in to be the construction developer for the mall, the Brick Church Mall in East Orange. I said, I can do the rough and finish carpentry. I said, I can do that because I can go to the union and get the people to do the work, and I can insist that the union hire at least 50% black folks because I'm gonna be paying. So the union agreed because to hire some folks who were black and also train them as long as I was gonna pay them. And I was gonna pay them because I got the contract to do the development, so it worked out well for everybody. So we did that. We built the brick church, the channel number, which is now Foreman Mills now. Now they've torn down everything but the shop wing. Folks still need food. But the brick church is Foreman Mills now. After we built the brick church mall, we built a senior citizens building. And that senior citizens building is on Walnut Street, and you start the 71-unit building. Now, again, I was not the primary contractor there, I was a sub. But I learned more at that unit, that situation. And what I learned that there's a lot of politics involved with trying to develop a building or develop any kind of real estate project. And so you have to have a plan for that as well. You can't just say, oh, I can build this building. Well, yes, you can build a building, but it's not in the rector's head. You really have to know what you're doing. You have to have a survey. You have to have an engineer. You have to have an architect. You have to have ground clearance. You have to have an environmental study. There is any number of things that have to go into building any kind of a project that requires compliance to regulations and the acquisition of dollars for the development of the project. Somebody's got to believe in your plan. So I did that for a number of years. I did a number of projects in Jersey City, Morristown, and other places. But most of those projects were to satisfy the needs of my ever-growing family, which was 5 children at the time. And I thought it was going to continue to grow, but I ran out of energy. But now all of them have master's degrees and are doing great things. And one of the best things they do is not come home and ask for money. That led me to the point where, I've done what I thought I was going to do. I was basically at the home, living comfortably, the real home, the retirement home. And then I got drawn back into it. One of my partners from the cable company, Clarence Lilly, who's named Clarence Ali, I don't dare call him Lilly anymore. Things change. So Mr. Ali said to me, listen, I have a senior citizens project I'd like you to get involved in Newark. It's only 25 units. It's property that we own. Maybe you'd like to help me out. I was bored. I said, I can help with that. It's not a problem. He said, but it could be bigger than that. I said, yeah, what could it be? He said, well, it could be the New Africa Development Corporation. I said, well, we gotta have a name. That sounds good to me. So he said, well, the city is thinking about giving folks the opportunity to develop, some of the land that the city owns. I said, well, what are you thinking about? He said, well, why don't we develop a New Africa district? I said, well, what is this district going to comprise? He said, well, we'll do some stuff on the Springfield Avenue corridor. Maybe a couple of things on the T Street, something maybe Avon Avenue. And there's a couple of, we could use a couple of 2 and 3 family houses. That would be part of the plan. And guess what? The mayor wants us to build a convention center and a hotel. I said, you really? I said, no. I said, the mayor wants us to do all this building, and the city's prepared to help us out. I said, and now what about Father Time? I said, we gonna get time to do this? Because it sounds like a 15 to 20-year plan to me. He said, man, we got that. And so we began to develop the project. Now, we are well past the beginning phases of this plan. New Africa is now in the process of developing a 25-unit senior citizens building on South 15th Street. We're building a 2-family house on South 16th Street. We're building a 14-unit mixed use and mixed income project on Blum Street. We're building a 16-unit with 2 residential facilities on 18th and Avon, and we're building a 10 units and 1 retail on Springfield Avenue. That's phase 1. Now, all of these phases require the same things that I told you they required of the business that I had when we had the book at Doubleday. You gotta have not just the chiefs, you gotta have the Indians. And the Indians and the chiefs, once they agree, you still have to get the money. Now, I'm glad to see some bankers here because I'll be talking to them soon. But because we're still looking for some money. We of course have what they call an investment stack. There's a stack of folks that you have to have involved when you have a business that you're trying to grow and financially involved. And that's sometimes you have to have a venture capitalist, somebody who says, oh, I believe in their project and I'll give you some money. Or you might have to have a bank account of your own, because you might need to put your own money, put your money where your mouth is, kind of thing. Or you might have to make an offering through crowdfunding. And I'll say, like, to this group, wow, there's an opportunity for you all to invest. If you just give me $100 today, you can be a part of our project. I have a hat in the back. But seriously, one of the things that you have to concern yourselves with, no matter how well you plan, no matter how well scripted your team is, how experienced they are, you have to have the resources. And it doesn't matter who you get the money from, as long as it's not a criminal. You've got to beg, borrow, not steal. But you have to go to grants, try to get a grant. Are there grants available for small, like our Heritage Garage? They give a $10,000. That's the kind of money you might need just to do a little survey to see whether or not the project that you have in mind is marketable. Is it something I really might be able to make some money doing? That's the kind of grant you can recommend. You can call the Victoria Foundation right here in North and ask them, listen, I've got a great idea. Let me put in a small development project grant and you fund the initial research I need so that I might be able to get this thing done. And there are a number of nonprofits and even for-profit entities that will provide that kind of seed money that you need. But clearly, other entities are entities that can give you money. Anybody you can make believe in your mission is somebody that you can ask for resources. But when you ask for resources, have a plan for repaying them, have a plan for making them understand what it is they're going to get back in return. Folks don't mind helping you as long as they know they're helping you for a good reason and that there's going to be a reward for them at the end. Everybody likes a little icing on their cake. You know? Now, I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody has about what my vision has been and what I've been doing, other than just making babies and being retired. I've got grandkids now too. So, yes.
I have a question. So, Roswell Choice, I own a company called The Expert Maker LLC. When you were running,
it's called The Expert
Maker LLC. When you were running a cable company, were you installing and did you have any programming along with it?
We did. We had cable television started as community antenna television. And the reason it was developed was because there were many places in America that could not receive off-the-air signals. There was only CBS, NBC, and ABC. And a lot of people, particularly communities that were in a valley, they couldn't even receive that signal. So what would happen was the guy who had the local TV repair shop would go to the highest point near that neighborhood, and he would run an antenna, a large antenna, and then run wire down from that antenna and attach people's houses to that antenna, and that gave them access to what was called then community access television, CATV. And that's how it began, just basically getting people a good signal. So one of the things that developed as a result of that with the community antenna television was that people said, well, listen, if I have a television system that's working and bringing television into my home, why can't I have some community access to that television? So that's why you see, even on your cable television system now, they'll say community access. Now, they may not have a lot of things that they show you on there, but you can get the local.
What's happening at City Hall. Yes.
And you can also, in good cable systems, you'll also be able to buy time for yourself. So you can have your own program, Calvin's Community Hour, or you could do some mega stuff. I hate Trump, or whatever you want. But you have to buy that. You have to buy it. You can't say it without that. But I'm saying, but those kinds of things are that kind of communication was what community antenna television was supposed to be all about. Now, it's been consolidated a lot, so that's no longer the case.
I'd love to talk to you further, offline, separately. My background is in television and media, and I worked for CBS and ABC and NBC and everybody else. And I'd love to talk about programming.
Absolutely.
In terms of small businesses.
Yeah.
So talk to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
She's one of the best. Expert maker.
That part.
Sounds like it. Any other questions? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. One of the questions I have, I know you probably had to overcome quite a lot during your period of growth. So what mentality did you have to work on, or what skills or muscle did you have to build in order to overcome all of the things outside of business that would go your way?
Tenacity. I mean, the one thing that we learned during the 2 years that it took us to get funding was that we had to get acclimated to hearing no. But the one thing that was okay about hearing no was we challenged everybody that said no to us to tell us why. We would say, listen, we understand that this is not a project for you, but what could have made it a project that you might have wanted to invest in? And they would say, listen, you guys don't know enough about this, or you haven't done this. Have you ever considered what they call churn? We didn't know what churn was. I thought the only churning I knew was, churning ice cream. But churn is actually a term that's used in media, particularly television, and particularly in cable now. But churn is how many folks are going to join your system each month, how many people are going to be leaving. And so we found out through research that the telephone company experienced approximately a 2 to 3% churn per month. Now, a 2 or 3% churn per month meant that we were going to have to get new adherents to our cable system to come on board at least at that rate in order to continue to keep the system operational. So we had to grow at least 3% a month, but not grow. That's not growth. That's just maintenance. So we had to try to develop a system for marketing so that we could grow more than 2, 3, 4, maybe 5%. So at the time when we sold the cable company, we started with 0. We had over 25,000 subscribers in Newark, and we had another 4,000 that we developed in South Orange, and we had 21 additional franchises in South Carolina. We were beginning to develop them as well, but the rug was pulled from under us. But it wasn't pulled from under us with, without, of course, it was painful because that was our baby and we wanted to grow it forever. But it was a soft cushion to rest on because we left with a few shekels. And so that made it a little more comfortable to leave,
Great. Thank you so much for your message and just what you've done over the years. How many people you've been impacted and now even more here. So once again, Calvin, thanks for sharing. Okay, excellent. So, we've got 2 additional panels and a couple things coming up. We're going to have a business card drawing a little bit later. So if you haven't left us your business card, just leave me one on the table there. We didn't do a good job collecting them. But on the next networking piece, and then towards the end, we're going to do a business card drawing. And you'll have a chance to win the registration for our upcoming networking event in the fall, November 6th and 7th. We're going to do our conference and our networking. And this is what you can win in the drawing. We're going to do breakout session number 3. It's 2:20 right now. So we're going to go about 2:35. That we're going to do breakout number 3. If anyone's looking for financing, either now or in the future, it's where you want to be. Today I'm going to be moderating, but we got some great panelists. We got Damien here, and he's got a lot of experience in financing. And we've got John here from TD Bank, and he's the lead SBA at TD Bank on a national basis. So if you're thinking about financing, you're learning from 2 great people to learn about it from. So we're going to do a panel on that coming up in about 15 minutes upstairs in the same breakout rooms we were earlier. And then in it, we're going to talk a little bit about, basically laid out how you get financing faster and easier. Praying for financing, preparing, researching, assembling, and yielding. And but praying on your knees isn't a bad thing either. And this is our panel. Unfortunately, Michelle had to leave a little bit early, but she's with NGI EDA. Hopefully you saw her over there. NGI EDA does great things for small businesses in New Jersey. So you should definitely be aware of them. They did a lot of financing throughout the pandemic as well. And then session 4, we're excited to have Jessica Spalding here from Harlem Chocolate Factory. And thanks to Verizon for inviting her to be here today. So I don't know if I've met Jessica yet, but I'm sure she'll be here. So she's going to be at around 3 o'clock, maybe a little bit after, because we're slightly adjusting. And then 4 o'clock to 5, we're just going to have happy hour here. So another opportunity to connect with people as you're here. So this is the last formal part of the conference. Thanks everybody for tuning in online as well. And hopefully so far you've had a great experience, and we still have more to go. So look forward to it. Thank you.